right, folks. Good morning. Welcome to the second day of the new style coffee run. Here we go. Good morning. I'm going to go ahead and get shooting here right away, and then we'll sit down and talk for a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do is this. I was talking about yesterday. I bought them for 5,000 yesterday. We lost $500. Here's 2,500, 3,000, 4,000, 500 and change. Let's just go back out with what we have left. Right. We'll do the Howard Rock and Roller way. If you watched the heavy Haltom session that I did for Craft for the Cure, he talked a little bit about Howard, and he said you can tell what Howard lost because the next day he'd buy in for some crazy amount, like $846, right? He'd work that. And this is kind of what I did in Vegas, right? I lose a little bit. Okay, that's my next day's buy-in, right? And sort of roll from there. So let's do it. Let's take yesterday's, where we were yesterday, buy back in, and I'm going to go out here, same level. I may do something a little more interesting and fun today, though. Thinking about it last night, I may just do this. We'll go, I've got, let's see, where am I messed up here? I'm missing some green chips, am I? 500 inside. Why am I missing money? I guess I lost more than I thought. We'll do 150 here, 100 here, 100 here, and 25 there and there. We'll do a simpler version of it. And same strategy, though. A couple hits and down. And but I want to talk to you as we do this because I want to know what you want to see here, and we'll talk about this more in the rest of the show. Today is going to be about the show, and I want to talk about what y'all want to see in this first segment. Anyway, good morning. Oh, Joe's here. Good morning, and Gary. Good morning, and Jay. Good morning. Good to see y'all here. Here we go. Coming out. Let's come out. Catch a quick point here. Maybe we'll have a nice roll to start things off. What do you think? Unlike yesterday, 628. And by the way, yesterday, interestingly enough, I lost 2 shooters in a row. However, had I played the Dallas drawdown, I would have won both times, right? That 2 hits and out thing would have been okay yesterday. We were trying something that has more hits required, kind of like I'm doing today. Here we go. Let's get it going. Looks like an 11. Yo, what a nice throw, too. Nice throw, nice landing. There's the 11. And let me know, by the way, how the screens are looking. If you can see me okay. See the toss good enough. The dice should be pretty clear. We'll talk more about studio setup here in a minute, but for right now, hopefully, it's all looking good. Let's go. How about a box number? How about a nice box? There's an 8. Sweet. 5, 3. That's great. It pays $175. Like so. And because we're down from yesterday, I'm going to do a little build up today instead of a draw down. So we're going to take the 8 to 300. I'm going to take what hit and press it up a couple of times. Take that quarter back to the rack. We'll take up to 3 box hits, and we'll see where we ended up here. We might be able to crawl back to even. That's kind of my goal. Get back to even from yesterday. Here we go. Oh, that was not a great throw, but it's a 4. She's a 4. Here we go. She's a 4. Fours try really hard, by the way. Let's go. Yeah. All right. We got that 8. I'd love to see me another 8, huh? Let's do it. Nice and easy throw. There's a 6, 4, 10 that pays $50. There's a nickel for the VIG. It pays 50. I'll go to 75. I'll take 4 change after the VIG pay. 4 and 10 are kind of bonuses. They don't really count. I'm looking for the insides. And because I was down, I couldn't get the full outside, so the insides are limited, right? In what they can do. Here we go. Oh, no, hit the end wall hard. That's a 9, 6 tray 9. Right there, $140. Sweet. Make it look like 200. I'll take a little bit back to the rack. I'm actually going to take this $50 and give it to the 4. And this, I'm going to say it out loud, is the last throw. Right? Hopefully, we can survive right here. Get out, right? I want 3 quality hits. Everything now up there is quality hit. Everything up there pays at least the black. So, oh, yeah, let's go. Here we go. Quality throw, John. Right here. Quality throw. He said out loud, quality throw, and he gets a 5, which is awesome. 415. That's great. Pays 140, like the 9 just. I'll do 150. 150 for 10 out of the rack. And if I reset things to where we started, there's the 150. 9's back at 100. 4 and 10 are back at a quarter. That's $500, right? That was the 500 we lost yesterday. So if I can bring that back into my rack, 500 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 500 there. And 50's on the end. That, folks, gets me back to even, okay? There's 5K in the rack. There's 5K in the rack. Bam, bam. And I've got $55 in profit. After yesterday's loss, we recovered it this morning, and we're back in profit again. So we can choose to keep going and accelerate a little bit, right? Take another $500, do it again, right? Maybe go out there at 1,600 and do a quick drawdown. Not opposed to that. I can take 2,000 here, take $400 back. We'll do a quick drawdown at 1,600 and get ourselves out of things. Right, here we go. 250 here, 250, 300, 300, 250. And by the way, if you have questions or comments or anything, right, now would be the time. Put the cues in front of those things. I'll get to them during the sit down and at the after show. Here we go. We're still out there on a point of 4. Here we go. How about an 11 yo? Nothing. Chiro, love you, but that's a thanks but no thanks kind of a thing right there, huh? Come on, Johnny. Oh, it's a kiss of the dice. It's a kiss of the dice, and it's the kiss of death. It's the 7. So we got even. We went out there aggressive, tried to do the actual thing, got whacked. Try it again tomorrow. That's it. We're going to stop it there. Again, I'm going to give it pretty much one shot, right? We're either going to get it done or we're not on our one shooter, or maybe 2 shooters a day. We'll decide, but that's going to be it. I'm not going to sit here and roll for an hour and a half every morning. I'm just going to give it a shot, right? Bummer that we lost it, right? Now we're down, whatever, 1,600. Yesterday we were down 500. When I come back here for the sit down, let's talk about that, right? And how we want to approach this part of the show. Because I think a big thing I want to talk about today really is kind of the future of the show. I'm going to bring this stuff over here. Give me a second. There goes the mouse. And hey, there he is. There's old Johnny. I want to talk about the future of the show. And I got a couple things that are kind of on my mind here. Today we're going to look at today at the studio and a couple of issues that I'm still having with the studio. But I thought it'd be kind of cool. Like, it's not going to be as cool as what Joe did with his table build videos, right? Because I'm not really building much. I'm just kind of setting things up the way I want them. But I want to walk you through where we are, kind of in phase 2 of the studio here, and kind of where this is headed, and where I think I want the show to head. Okay, so let's roll this up over here, and I'll give you kind of some notes. Let's see here. I want to go back a screen actually to there. Okay, here we go. So today, the 2 topics that are on my mind are this: the Studio Redux, the new studio, and I want to come back and talk with you all a little bit about yesterday's show. So I got a lot of interesting. I got a lot of comments yesterday, more comments than usual, and they came over chat and emails, not so much over the comment section on the channel. And what, like, even 10-ton wrote, do we need sensitivity training? We may need some. I hope I didn't come off yesterday as bitter. And a lot of people wrote yesterday and today and said, hey, sounds like you need a hug. You all right? You're like, don't worry about it. You worked hard. I didn't mean to come off as negative. I hope I didn't. We had a great time. Like that event every year. I say this every year. Craps for the Cure humbles me every year. And by the way, if you want to humble me some more, the donation site is up, by the way. And if you want to donate right now, today, I want to show you something. For every $25 donation, I'm putting this up, right? This is the first things first, right? Get this nice and close. You've got the commemorative chip, right? It's got the CGTV logo on one side. It's upside down. There it is. The back side has the charities. They're black chips with the yellow backgrounds. And the wristbands that we're all wearing that say Craps for the Cure 2024. Drop me $25 in the donation bin right now. One of those will be in the mail to you. Right? Let me know in chat that you did it. I'll go find your donation and I'll get one of those things out to you in the mail. That way you've got some kind of a takeaway from the trip. So $25, I've got probably 40 of those. So that should raise some good money for us. So you want one of the commemorative things right now? Drop $25 in the donation. We go to crapsforthecure.com. Anyway, the event was awesome. Like, and I said this, I tried to make this as clear as I could yesterday, having Jen and Ian and Leon and Joe and Craig and Brian and Ryan, right? Good YouTuber friends of mine, obviously, right? Coming together and hanging out there, that's like irreplaceable stuff. Like the amount of fun that we had, just getting table time with guys, right? And gals is great, right? That was the highlight of the whole trip to me, was some of that stuff, right? Some of those conversations that we got to have at breakfast and everything else was awesome, right? Can't take that away. The table play was great. I come out of there with money, right? That was great. Getting to meet the Big AZ, part of the Big AZ crew at least, was great. Hanging with Big AZ was great. All of it was good. I'm hard on myself because I set a high standard, right? We've raised more money every year than the year before. So I set that standard, right? And for myself. And because we didn't hit the standard, I felt like I failed, right? I'm not crying over it. I just felt like I could have done better. And I think I've been successful on this channel and in my business prior to having a real job. I used to have a business, and in my life, because I do constant reevaluations. Like every day, I do a little RCA after the show. Every show. Why would you care, right? But after the show, have my coffee before I go to work, and I think about what happened on the show today. What did I say? How did I say it? What could be better? I'm always thinking of ways to try and improve. You see, I'll flail around. I'll try stuff that doesn't work, right? Because I'm always trying to make things better on the show. So I'm not going to be complacent. And so when things don't go as well as I'd like, bingo, for example, right, or other things, I do take it hard on myself. But I think I wanted to share with you all kind of what I think, right? I think we're all close enough now that I can say, here's where I think I went south, and here's where I think I can improve. And looking ahead already at next year, we've already had some quick talks about logistical improvements for next year and things that we can do to make things better. So it's not about me being down on myself. It's about me recognizing that we didn't do as good as we could have financially on the charity. And there's reasons for that. Some of those reasons are decisions that I made that I'll make different ones for next year. So I don't feel like I need sensitivity training. I feel like I set a very high standard for myself. I don't like to do half-assed things. And I felt like part of this just didn't kind of work out just as great as it could have. So anyway, that's all that is. As far as the Shaq thing goes, a lot of interesting feedback on that. And the general consensus, I think I agree with, right? I'm not here to burn somebody at the stake. I think I said this in Discord yesterday. I'm not here to burn somebody at the stake at all, by any means. That's not the intention there. The intention, though, is to this. And if I have to give you all any kind of a lecture today, it's that your words matter, and your audience matters, and your surroundings matter. All those things are important, right? And I tell my kids this all the time. Like, especially in today's world, somebody's always listening, right? Somebody's always watching. And I think I made the comment yesterday, the measure of a man is what they do when nobody's watching, right? Well, here, somebody's always watching, right? So you kind of, things like that sort of, when they happen, they're revealing. And I think, you go, oh, well, okay, that's an eye opener. Like, I didn't know that so-and-so thought that way about me or somebody else. So be careful about that, right? As the producer of that show, there's no way that I can't address it, right? We had a hot mic moment. I had to address the moment. And yeah, I was upset about it. Like I said yesterday, I was upset that it happened. I was upset that everybody heard it. I was upset on John Patrick's behalf. And it's just kind of one of the things where you just go, damn, it's like the day just didn't end as well as it could have, Does that mean that one person is the devil incarnate? No, it just means that it's super unfortunate, right? And it's like, just like I said, we all have to kind of sometimes measure a little bit. And that's what it comes down to. So I'm okay. Everybody who's asking, I'm doing fine. I'm going to be just fine. But I want to have some fun today. Let me show you something. I'm going to show you a little video that I made before I left for Craps for the Cure. I went and I did a quick little filming of the studio here. And I want to show you where the studio was. And I'm going to show you where it is right now. And we'll talk a little bit about some future plans. So let me just play a little video for you here, and then I'll be right back. All right, let's do a little before action here on the studio. I'm gonna walk into it here so you all can see how it looks. It's set up now. So here's the studio as it currently is. The walls are green, which is great. The table, I mentioned this before, the table's in here kind of on a diagonal out of that corner, kind of the back here, and only because the table is exactly as wide as this wall to that wall, so I can't get it straight. Anyway, so back here on the dealer side, this is where, you know, the dealer would stand. Right above that is the ceiling mount camera that points down. When you're looking at my videos, I'm actually standing on the other side of the table. So that thing points exactly straight down and gets a perfect view of the thing. And I've got some soundproofing here, and of course the guitars over there, the wall of hats and baseball bats over here. Now, this side of the table I don't use. The camera's only on that side. This camera down here is the long view. So when you watch me shoot, you'll see that's the view you get from behind. You can see my hands while I'm shooting. That's that camera there. So this side of the table has the roulette board on it. It's got, you know, other things, my coffee cup collection, things that aren't in use just yet. The coffee cups will eventually go to this wall over here, by the way, this big green wall in the end. I'm gonna put some slat board up there. Anyway, there is the stand. So when I'm actually filming, you know, I come over here and I shoot, and I walk over here, I type in the numbers on the computer, go grab my dice, you know what I mean? Place my bets, and there's my rail that I use. And that camera up top actually is wide enough to catch this rail. So I put the chips in here while I'm betting. That's how it all works right now. What I want to do though is I want to be able to shoot from that side, right? From stick, this over here I'm at stick right one. Over here, I'd be at stick left one. The problem is if I'm shooting from over here, that's great, the dice land and it's all good, but making my bets, I have to walk down over here, do all the bet work, and there's no place for a rail to be, right? So I'm trying to get the whole thing set up where I can shoot from either side and have the cameras be right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this thing over here and move it to that side. It's gonna be against that other wall over there. Eventually I'll probably mount this big, I bought a big monitor there. There's a big monitor. That monitor will probably mount on the wall at some point and come out. And I'll put a camera over here where the box person would sit, pointing that way. And the idea would be to sit over there where the computer is right now, where that door is, to sit over there and run the show from that side of the table, which means the computer, monitor, all the stuff has to be over here on this side, kind of facing me. So I gotta move everything around to make that all work and make it also so that when over here, when the computer's all set up and everything else, that I can still walk and be able to deal and not have my head in the shot and everything else. So the retrofit of the studio is gonna start happening over the weekend. And the big change will be, again, the control panels will be on that side of the room in such a way that I can still be over there shooting, playing, and dealing, not bumping into cameras, being able to see the chat. But most importantly, I wanna come sit over here on this side. I wanna be sitting here so the camera will be where that black soundproofer is, facing me so that the backdrop is this, right? The backdrop is that, not the current backdrop, which is this. You see me sitting at my desk pointing out of my office, right? Right now I run the whole show from in here. Here's my, you know, my patent and my gold medal from cooking and my wires and all my stuff, right? This is where I run the show from right now, which is cool, but it's not the greatest look. You know what I mean? When I'm sitting in here at my desk, you're looking at the door jamb and everything else, and it's not very professional. So I'm trying to get out of this office as far as my production goes and be running the whole show from sitting in a chair over here, camera facing me, shooting from here, stick right one, or over there, stick left one, being able to deal from either side of the table and have a rail visible, all without having to move cameras and just being able to kind of start the show and go. So this is Studio 1.0. Studio 2.0 is on the way. So when I start the new series of shows after Crash for the Cure, hopefully, except for the back wall there where the slat board's not here yet, everything will be done except for the coffee cups being up on the wall and maybe some reordering of hats. So that's kind of about it. So there it is. That's the studio as it currently stands. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks here with hopefully something interesting. And I'll document the process as I go through it. But yeah, there's my messy, well, not messy, it's kind of cool, but it's a closet. That's where I work. I'll see y'all later. Bye. All right. I'm back. We have lost, what happened here? We lost something. Oh, that one there. I want that screen. There we go. Hey, I'm back. All right, so as you can tell, I filmed that video before I left and didn't air it. I was going to air it before I left, but I thought let's make a little thing today. So that was how the studio looked before. It pretty much looks the same now. I do want to show you. I'm going to change scenes. So give me a second here to get this going. I'm going to turn my phone on to camera mode. Let's see if I can get my camera to connect here. Give me 1 second. Can you all see my phone? Hey, look at that. There it is. This is my phone. So I'm going to walk you through what I did. Okay. So first things first, there is the aforementioned monitor stand that was, remember, from over here this is where I shoot from, my stick right. Right. The monitor stand was over here. It's gone now. There's all plenty of room. Oh, look at that. I can walk all over here. It's great. The closet door's closed, not even part of the thing anymore. And then of course, over here, we still have the hat and baseballs and all that stuff on the wall, right? That wall is going to change. I'm going to put all the hats and the baseball bats and the award and all that stuff, a lot of it on that back wall. That back wall is green. You can't really hardly tell, I guess, but I ordered slat wall for back there. It's going to look really cool. The coffee cups and the hats are going to be on the back wall. This wall here is going to end up being like a dice rack. My chip racks, all that kind of stuff will be behind me. That's the plan there. One thing that's kind of gross in this room, and you can tell by when I'm sitting here in my new captain's chair, is that light. That's a bedroom light, obviously. This was somebody's bedroom when I bought the house. That's coming out. I am shopping right now for chandeliers. I'm gonna pimp this room out. That's gonna be a chandelier, which will not be the primary source of light for the room. So the ceiling, needs some actual like studio style lighting. I'm gonna buy some studio style like soft lights for the ceiling. That'll be a chandelier for decoration only. Right now, that thing sits right on top of my head. So when you look straight down, that's where I sit. So I get some weird shadows. So from my point of view, quality wise, that light has to go and be replaced with a chandelier because it's going to be stupid and cool. And I'll get regular lighting. Also, the floor is, brown carpet, right? It's like a bedroom carpet. That's coming out. We're actually taking all the carpet out of our main room out there too, and putting hardwoods in out there in the main downstairs room, because it's still downstairs. What's going to come in here is casino remnants. I'm going to get a nice casino, just gross, like not gross, dirty wise, but like, some crazy casino pattern, and make the floor like a casino purple, yellow, fleur-de-lis kind of a thing. It's going to be pretty cool. So, yeah. So on the side, actually on the side of my craps table where I sit here, coffee cup, right? There's a little control box and all the dice. Look at all the dice I got. All my whole bin of dice plus all the new ones over there. That's all how I work it, right? I need stuff to get to, right? Now, on the other side, stage one is this, right? We put everything on that stand, like I said I was gonna, and it's over here. Now, one thing that grosses me out is this. I do not like wires on the floor. I don't like wires being visible. This mess of wires back here is actually giving me agita right now. I hate it. But I'm gonna make this a temporary stand. For right now, I got the computer over here. And then that's a brand new one, right? It's my second Mac. I have one Mac in my office that I work from. This is the Mac that I have to install for the studio only. There's that camera that sees me and all that stuff. This computer that's on this desk will be mounted here on the wall. I'm going to mount it probably lower, but I'm going to mount it on the wall so you won't be able to see it. The monitor, which I'll also mount up on the wall, probably between those two soundproofers, right? It'll be up here and I can swing it out. So it'll be like, actually, you can't tell what I'm looking at, but it'll be out here all the way, even with the table. So when I'm sitting there, I can see it better, right? When I'm shooting from stick right or stick left, I can swing it. I'll swing it back into the wall flat, and I'll have plenty of walking space. Right now, I got to kind of suck it in a little bit to get between this. If I wanted to come down here and deal, I can totally do it now, which is what I wanted. I can shoot and I can deal from this side, but I got to kind of squeeze in between those two things, which I don't like. So eventually I will mount those. I wanted to give it a test run, right? So we could all see, like, do we like the view of me sitting over here, right? Is that a good look for the show? And if we like it, and I like where the table is, then I will go ahead and put holes in my wall and mount then I'll mount the monitor and the computer up on the wall and make things better. This camera down here that sees the table is still in good shape. It's a good camera. I don't like it on the table. I'd rather the table be totally clean. So I may, on that slat wall in the back, which is why I'm doing slat wall, I may put a camera mount on that wall and have that camera swing out and hang over the table, right? And then I can swing it like like a door almost back and forth when I'm in or not. So that's going to be the plan for in here. So it's going to take a little bit, right? We got chandelier, I got studio lights, I got Pimp Daddy carpet coming, slat wall on the back wall, a little bit of redecoration over here. It's going to look a little more like a casino from your point of view, and from my point of view, it won't be quite so. I feel like this is cool. I love this wall, but it's a little bit it's just disorganized. I need to have a little more order, a little less chaos on that wall. I think that's going to look better out there anyway. So that's the current phase, right? The next phase that you'll see here, one of these days you're going to walk in. Let me go back to the other view here. You're going to walk in here one of these days. Let me turn this off and have you say, hey, the lighting's better, John. You look better. You'll know the day I pull the chandelier in. I put the chandelier and the other lights in, you'll know immediately because it's going to be less shadows. You know, a big thing with filming, and I think the guys who run YouTube channels know this, the biggest issue with filming is lighting. And lighting is really hard. Like the folks that go to like photography schools, that's what they spend a lot of time on lighting, because lighting is very, very hard to do. So why do all this? I'm gonna go over here. So why'd I do it all? I just felt like the first version of the studio was okay, right? I didn't love. I don't mind working in the closet. I didn't like you seeing the closet door. Like, to me, having that closet door in the shot every day bugged me, right? It felt very unprofessional as far as our talks go, right? I tried hanging a green screen in there, but because I have got shelving on both sides of the wall and the door jamb behind me, there's no way to hang a green screen without wrinkles in it. So I tried that. And again, I couldn't shoot from either side of the table, and I couldn't really deal very well. I just felt like it was very haphazard. You know, I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna go out there and change everything up and go shoot. It's kind of a nightmare. So that's kind of the impetus for why I wanted out of it. And again, now shoot from both sides. I think, you know, I think it feels okay. From this side, we have a regular rail that I'm using for my racks. From that side, I won't. That side, I'm going to have one of those fake chip rails on the table. Eventually, I will mount that camera that's over the table higher, right? The higher I go, the wider I can get. I'll mount it up higher. Maybe I might even ceiling mount it. And that way I can catch the hook rail. And when I'm dealing I'm playing from that side, I can use my chip rack from the hook. And I might actually do that. So, but I do like sitting over here. I think sitting over here is a better feel to the show. And again, if you want to put your comments out there, this is a great time. Put Qs or PCs in front of things. I'll find them later and we'll talk through it. To be done, obviously, the slat wall that we talked about for the coffee cups, for the hats, for a better mount from that camera. I'm going to permanently mount the computer and the monitor over there. That'll eliminate the wires, which, you know, I mean, I'm such a nerd, but I hate wires. Everybody at the Craft of the Cure was like, oh my God, this is your whole setup. Like, I got pictures. I'll show you some pictures later on, maybe tomorrow. But the setup, and Craig from Old Blade Craft will tell you this, right? He was running the controls the whole time. He's like, there's not a lot to this. Like, I set it up to be pretty easy, right? 2 cameras, 2 wires, and a microphone, and that's really the whole setup. I try to keep it as simple as I can, but I don't want to have, like, here, things showing. So I'm a big cable management, hide the wires in the walls kind of a thing. So we'll get that, and I want to be able to be more flexible. I want the cameras to have different angles and that kind of thing. So I use these little point to zoom cameras that I can kind of rotate around. I can make the camera zoom in and zoom out and kind of give you different angles with the push of a button. So I'm going to try and make the scenery, the scenes that you see, a little more dynamic as we go. So when I change from this view to that view, you'll have a different angle. That's what's coming. I'm trying to make it like more of a production quality type of thing. So let's chat about the show. And actually, I'm going to go here. I'm going to go and try and get your comments on here too. So let's talk about the show. And let's see, mark the point. Let's see, make the table. I can't make the table straight, unfortunately. Knock out the wall. So, you know, it's funny you say that, right? I actually thought about this. What you can't see, there's the wall right there, and then there's the closet door. It's all one wall. And of course, the closet only goes about halfway across this wall. And over there is a window. When you look at the other view, let me go back over here. When I go to this view, I think, no, not that one. Let's see, when I go to the daily paycheck view, come on, boom. That black next to the guitar, the black thing next to the guitar, that's a window that goes to the outside. There's my outside lower deck is right there. and it's a concrete deck. I can 100% blow that wall out, right? And build this out and put the table. We've talked about it, right? Making that table straight. The other thing is on that wall, I'm pointing this way here, to you is to your right, the green wall that's in the back where the slat wall is going to go. Other side of that wall is the hot water heater and the washer and dryer. We thought about maybe moving the washer and dryer upstairs and making that a bathroom, right? So this becomes more, I'm thinking like when we sell the house, this because that could over there, that could be like a sliding door that goes out to the patio, right? For me, it's great for the craps table, but when we go to sell the house, sliding door, patio, still have a walk-in closet and a bathroom over here. This becomes a second master suite or like a mother-in-law suite. So that's the thing we can totally do down here. That costs a little bit of money. Maybe next trip to Vegas, my goal will be make enough money to blow the wall out. Great idea, Ryan. Anyway, let's talk about the show and where we're going to go. The coffee run is going to be from, as you can tell, about 7:15 to about 8:15 or 8:30, depending on how things go. What I'm talking about, what the day of the thing is, what the topic of the day is, that kind of thing. I'm going to follow the format, though, that I did before, essentially, right? So the format's going to look like this. I can see my screen here. Number one, we're going to open up daily paycheck, okay? The buy-in every day is about $5,000. The goal every day is about 500, right? We worked really hard to get to $100,000, right? I built that $100,000 bankroll live in front of you, and we'll have a show. By the way, tomorrow's show will be canceled. I forgot that the dogs are going to the vet tomorrow for their surgeries. Both my dogs are having knee surgery. My older dog is getting both ACLs redone. My younger dog is getting one of them redone. So tomorrow they go in at 8 o'clock. So I can't do the show. Anyway, we're going to start with daily paycheck at about 7:15. That gives Joe a little bit of time to finish off his heater, right? Joe's going to be online, from 6 to 7 every day. That gives me a little bit of a buffer between him and me, right? And instead of me doing like a half-hour daily paycheck or a 45-minute daily paycheck and then an hour of the other show, because I start work at 8:30 now, my time, 7:15 to 8:30 is an hour and 15 minutes. It's probably a good enough time. So we're going to start out every day, like today, doing daily paycheck, right? The goal is take the 5K, win 500 every day. Not trying to build bankroll anymore, right? We did the bankroll build already. My goal now is to see, can I live on it? Can I actually take the $5,000 out of that account every day and make $500 with it, right? To go, and have that be the thing that, we can go to shows with and, buy cruises with and like make that kind of our expenses account, right? Build up me and Kathy's like retirement, let's have fun account, right? Daily paycheck style. I won't do more than 2 or 3 shooters. Today I just did one. It's going to be kind of a timing thing. I want to give it about 15 minutes, right? So if one shooter is great. If it takes me 3 shooters to get there, great. But we're going to limit that to about 15 minutes at the start of the show. There will not be crapsy in that session. I could do crapsy, but as you know, crapsy slows things down. So the first question I've got for you all is this, and this is the time to be interactive on the chat, right? If you want crapsy to be part of this thing, I had to make this a little smaller here. If you want crapsy to be part of it, you got to say so right now. Say, we need crapsy, even if it's only 3 shooters or 1 shooter, we need crapsy, right? So right now in chat, put in DPC : and then crapsy yes or crapsy no. So I know what you want me to do, right? That would be a really cool thing to know what you want. But the goal for me, again, is now that we're at 100K, the 100K is the big buffer. If I lose the 5,000 a few times, it won't kill me, right? So quick pay, get up, crack the knuckles, coffee run, right? It's a real coffee run. Come down here with my cup. Let's make this thing happen, right? That's the first segment, about 10, 15 minutes worth. Then we'll do the community news segment, and I'll do a better job of that. One of the things we talk about RCAs all the time, right? One thing I want to do, root cause analysis, right? Why is our market share, my show audience declining, right? I look at a lot of things. One thing is, of course, I'm irregular going live, and that's because of the move. I was out of work for a while. Jobs have meetings at certain times. My company now is in Chicago, so my morning meetings are at like 6 a.m., right? 7 o'clock in the morning, and then again at 8:30. So I have to fit the show in between work times. Prior to that, the company I worked for was on East Coast time, right? So everything kind of butted up against and didn't give us a good window to have a show. So Now that we know where we are and it's settled, the timing is good, which means the community news piece will now be me finally having some time now that I've got, you know, the 9 to 5 kind of a job. I can earmark time to watch Jeremy and Ed and Waylon and Joe and Ryan and all the people, right? I can watch shows now and I can come back and report on them, right? So not like reaction video style, but I can give, hey, did you see so-and-so's thing last night? Or Waylon had a cool strategy. And the cool thing is I can take some of that stuff and say, hey, Waylon put out a fun video last night. I might make that my paycheck run the next morning, right? And that's the other question I've got. I'm going to rewind one segment, right? In the daily paycheck, what do you think is valuable, right? Me trying to make a paycheck my way and seeing if I can do it, right? Or if something does come along that I think is cool, like I saw this great strategy last night, and let me try this one for daily paycheck. Do you want to see me burn bankroll trying somebody else's stuff out, right? That's a question I've got, right? Do you want to see that or the other? My personal thing is I want to try and make a paycheck my way, right? Make that like the transparent, here's how I would do it if I had that actual money, right? Here's how I would make a coffee run. I think that's more valuable to open the show with every day, right? Later in segment 3, when it's play and teach time, okay, less chin, more spin, right? That people want to see. Less of me sitting on my ass talking to you and trying to do lectures every day. I think we've lectured on everything we can lecture on. I've given you every bit of information I think I've got, right? And I've done it multiple times. I'm actually going to go and cut some of those videos back down again and re-release them all as like, here's how House Edge works and here's how the come bets work and all that stuff. I think I kind of want to spend segment 3 just shooting and sort of talking, right? So maybe after the news and notes, I'm just going to come up to the table again and I'll go here or something. Where's my buttons aren't hooked up. I'll go to this screen or like, that screen, and I'll just shoot. Look at my little notes. I'll just shoot and I'll put the strategy notes on the right? If it's like Waylon's, Dixieland, blast or whatever, I'll put over there on the right, what the strategy is, and I'll just roll it out and we'll talk, right? A little more folksy, a little less lecture-y. And I think that's how I want the large part of the show to be. That gives me more flexibility in terms of time. If I'm running late, if I gotta leave early, I can just, do less or more of that. Think like a combination of like what I used to do. Remember, if you go back to the old coffee and crap shows, that's what it was. I would basically be at the table, kind of ideating as I'm playing out here, right? I want to go back to that again. I want to make this show a little more lighthearted. So a little bit of news in the morning, like make some money, talk about the news, bullshit with you guys a little bit, go back to the table and just play for a while and just really make it a little less serious. But, if I see something fun, we'll play something fun and we'll play, just play around for 45 minutes, and that may or may not have a crapsy component. If I'm rolling dice, I may run crapsy then, right? If I'm just demonstrating an idea, like I might do a review of like one of Waylon's things, or here's how this thing works and here's how I'd probably play it. I think that's what I want to do. And then of course we'll end like we always end. We'll end up in the end of it, Q&A and final thoughts, right? I think that's a good way to end the show, is kind of come back through it and see all things. So that's the plans. That's where we are headed on the show. I just want you to know that that's kind of where my mind is right now. So I want to improve the flow of it, and I want to lessen some of the weight of it, right? I think I've been hardcore teaching that the gambling 101, 201, 301, 401 series that I did was a complete brain dump. Like, that, like I said before, I did that video series for 2 reasons. One is I wanted to have a marched order through my all my thoughts, right? If I was going to write a book, that would be the book I'd write. In those a book on gambling, not a book on craps. A book on gambling, that would be the book I'd write. Though that series of 90 videos that I did could be 90 chapters in a book, and it might be someday, right? That was a lot of work, as you can well imagine, a lot of prep time, a lot of practice time, a lot of everything, and it was very, very heavy, right? Heavy weight wise on me, right, to get it all done. But it's done now, right? Since that ended, every day I wonder, what should we talk about tomorrow? And I've rehashed a couple of things, and it's hard to find interesting ideas or present the same things as before in a newer or more interesting way. So I've been thinking a lot about this show and where it needs to go. And I think that where I've landed here, go back a screen, where I've landed here, I think is what I want, right? Come out with a quick little rollout. I like that, right? Talk to you a little bit one-on-one, go back to the table and just play, right? Play a little bit, maybe break some stuff down, maybe do a little bit of a comparison. That kind of thing I think is going to be fun and a little less preachy, so to speak, right? And I want to take the mood of the show down one level, like one level from being academic to being just like, let's just have fun, right? And let's break things down as best we can, but also enjoy the time doing it. So that's really what I want to get. Yeah, Jen says it great. Demos are interesting, right? I love the demos, right? I was doing so much less demoing when I was lecturing, right? I spent so much time making these PowerPoint slides to talk you through stuff that I wasn't at the table enough doing what I do, which is breaking the stuff down. And like, here's a press move that I think is cool. And here's why I think, right? I think that's going to be better. And maybe sometimes I'll demo and we'll just play it out, right? And I want that part of the show to be a little bit more lighthearted and more fun. Learn something along the way, but not really make that the whole point anymore, right? The whole point, I've already taught all I can teach, right? It's like, that's not what I want. All right. Let me go through some of the comments here, and we'll go to the Q&A piece. And again, some things I want to know from you are this. One is, do we want Crapsy during the first part when I'm just doing my make the paycheck piece? My inclination is no. I want to go fast, like today, get it done, go at my own pace. It's going to be some days it's one shooter, right? If you're playing with me and you get one shooter a day, you're going to hate me. So my thoughts are probably no Crapsy in the morning, but I'm looking through some of the comments here, and again, forget my lean, but let's see. Gary, I'll get to that comment. Gary says he wants me to be zoomed in more. From this view here, I can zoom in some more. Watch this. Ready for some magic? Hold on. I can do it right now. I can go, hold on. Watch the magic. I'm going to go to the camera screen. I think the camera screen is going, right? OBS spot camera. Oh, I'm zoomed in as much as I can be on the camera. I guess I can do here. Let's see if I go here. I can zoom it and I can pan it. There we go. How's that? Is that better? Is that a better look right there for when I'm in teaching mode at the desk? I kind of wanted you to see the desk or that's good. You can see the logo thing. That's good, right? Is that a good look? Let's lock that in. Let me lock it. There it is. There's the zoom in. See that in real time, Gary? We make changes in real time. How about that, right? Royce, all right. So what we're going to do, Royce says, agree to expand the room. And Duracell says a new telethon for the studio. I think what you guys are saying is we should have the Pacific Northwest meetup again, right? Do another PNW meetup. And what we'll do, maybe we'll do it this coming spring or summer. I've been thinking about doing another one of those where y'all come out my way. Now, the problem is there's no casinos near me here, right? I'm 2 hours away from the closest craps table. So what we can do is have like I think what we can do is play at there's a casino over by Ian, Snoqualmie, also my one up in Everett, that we can do in the springtime. In the springtime, by the way, in this part of the state, there is all the snow from the mountains. We get tons of snow, right? All the snow from the Cascades kind of starts melting down, and the river. When you look at this at the pictures I send you from my deck, I've shown you all the views of my house. The river that flows from the runoff of those mountains in the spring and early summer, we run the river. You get into tubes and you run the river. Nothing more fun than that. No matter how old you are, nothing more fun than that. So we can do a little PNW meetup and run the river, and then go to the casino, right? And we'll have a big barbecue here at the house. We'll play cornhole. We'll make it like a little meetup that's beyond just craps, right? So think about that. That's actually a good idea. And Royce and Joe and all you guys that want to come, bring your tools. We'll blow the wall out. I'll put you all to work, right? We'll have a weekend of meetup and a week where you guys tear my house apart. How about that? All right, I just hired you. All right, so let's see. Joe's doing the trip report tomorrow, which is great, awesome. Joe says yes for Crapsy. Royce says yes for Crapsy. Skill says don't need it. It kills time, and time is important. I agree with you. Yeah, Gary says no for that, and yes, he likes the new look. Much better. All right, cool. See that we learn as we go. I don't know. I'm looking at it. Royce says, yeah, flying to Yakima, play at Legends, right? We can float the river in Yakima too. That's actually really cool. I've never played at that casino. I don't know what their table's like, but yeah, staying Yakima is not bad, right? And you're close enough to me here in Wenatchee that we can come on down and still, have some fun. It'd be a different experience for you. This side of the mountains is way different than the Seattle side. It's super, super different. Jen is always a yes for Crapsy. I know that. I could see us doing Crapsy, I think, maybe, Jen, in the second piece. After I'm like demoing and playing for like 30 minutes or so, that might be a little bit more length in the Crapsy. If the daily paycheck goes 2 shots, like if I'm doing a drawdown and I get it in 2 rolls, I'm going to call her up. And the Crapsy in that case would be terrible, I think, if I just did that, where you're obligated as a host doing Crapsy to at least finish the rollout, right? Which I think makes more sense in a longer segment. So I might have just talked myself out of it. I don't know. The other thing is this. On the daily paycheck piece, what do you want to see? Let's talk about that really quick in chat. What do you want to see? Would you prefer that I try and get a paycheck, right? Take the 5K, get my 2 rolls and out. That becomes a can John roll 2 rolls every day kind of a show versus how are we going to make the paycheck? Like, I'm going to go. And honestly, it's easy, right? If I go 1,600 across and take a hit for 350 and I regress down to 750 and take a hit at 175, that's my $500. That's the daily paycheck every day, right? If I'm doing this with 5K, that's the plan, right? It's 1,600, take a hit, 750, take a hit, and go bye-bye, right? If you want to watch me do that every single day as kind of a crack my knuckles, have a sip of coffee thing, I'm down for that, right? If you'd rather me every day switch it up and say, well, he did that yesterday, maybe tomorrow he'll do the duck and cover, maybe the next day he'll play the horseman, try all the ways I like to play and just give them each kind of a shot, I can do that too. It's really, part of it is like proof of concept, can I do it, right? Part of it is entertaining, right? And do you want, and what do you want to see? I can do a week of the horseman or a week of this or a week of that like we did before, but really the bankroll is going to be fixed now. It's a fixed size bankroll. I'm not trying to build. I'm just trying to make 500 or 350 or whatever and get out of Dodge. Like the paycheck is going to be a thing where, hey, I might lose the 1,600 and I may come back right away and say, let's do it again, but let's take 2 hits at the first level and 2 at the second. And my profit is like 195 and I'm freaking out, right? I'm like, okay, that was it. We recovered back our loss. We got a tiny profit and today's paycheck is a small one. Versus trying to force it like I did before to get to the 100. So think about what you want to see. And again, put it in the chat. I'm watching the chat scroll, so I'll get to some of those comments here in a minute. Somebody else had an idea. I think it was Jen. And this is interesting too. And I don't know if I want to do it or not, but let's get your thoughts on it, right? Thought 1, like I said, $5,000 to win 500 every day. Thought number 2 is, I ran from 10,000 to 100,000, right? We did that live, which I think other than Charlie, nobody's ever done live. Alfredo is in the process of doing it. He started at, I think, 1,500. He's at 10,000 now. A completely different approach, by the way, than I took for it. But now we have the money, right? So it's like, how do we use the money? And something that was asked of me was, why don't you now take 100 and turn it into 200? Okay. And the reason why that could be interesting is this. A lot of millionaires will say the first million's hard, the second million's easy. Okay. The reasons why, you have leverage, right? When I had 10,000 in the virtual bank account and I was buying in for 1,000 and winning $100 at a time, you got to win $100 a whole bunch of times to get to 200, to get to 2,000, to get your bankroll to 11,000, right? You're winning 100, 110. Those slow, tiny little wins that you get in the early stages take forever to build it up. Because we compounded the wins, when we were at $75,000, our buy-ins we're buying in for a percentage of that, $8,000. The wins were bigger and you go here, right? So it took me a year to get from 10,000 to 100. To go from 100 to 200, now I have leverage. It would probably take me a month, right? Because you're starting from here. I'm not starting from 1,000. Going from 1,000 to 200,000 is a lot. Going from 100K to 200K is easy, right? You're looking at, $25,000 wins or whatever that is. It's not like it's that hard to do. It's hard, but it's not like it's amazingly hard to do compared to the other way. Is that interesting, right? It could be interesting to see. Once you have 100, how fast can you get to 2, right? Once you've got 2, how fast can you get to 5, right? Once you're at $500,000, how fast can you grow to $1 million? If you're willing to buy in for big and play big at percentages of bet sizes and percentages of whatever versus the core, that could be interesting too, as that first part of the daily paycheck. If I go back at screens, you can see as the first segment, right? We could go, let John win 500 a day. We could go, let John turn 100K into 200K, right? It's either way could be, I think, fascinating to watch. It's really, what do you want to see? So as I'm rambling, I ask that question, what do you want to see? What is interesting? Check a little time check here. What is interesting for you in that first 5 to 10 minutes? What should I do? And that's the big question. Jen's talking about buying the first house is hard, the second house not so much, right? And we're actually in that position here. We're looking at potentially buying a second or maybe even a third house, right? When you come visit me, you'll see that there's a property below me that's they cleared out a bunch of trees and flattened it out. They're going to build a house down there that might impede my view of that awesome river. I may buy that property and build my own thing and get into sales there. Potentially looking at Vegas property too. Oh, hello. Hold on, guys. The coffee run. It's the coffee run. Hi, Kathy. Thank you. Ta-da! Who has the best wife in town? John does. I got actual, not homebrewed coffee. Yay. Kathy rocks. All right, so say hi. Everybody say hi. She doesn't like saying hi on camera at all. But anyway, those are the things I'm considering, right? So this show is going to become, the main change is going to be this. The Daily Paycheck is part of the show now in the beginning, right? So instead of having 2 shows, we'll have 1 show, Paycheck first segment. The teaching part that I used to do, lecture style, will be way lessened, right? I'm probably going to go from this screen here, right? We're probably going to get started and do a little bit of this. What's brewing today? I might even talk about Joe's throw that I just saw on his show. I might talk about the latest Jacob from Wagering this video. I might talk about something that Ryan did. I might give Ryan more crap about the chopper toss video that he put out there and embarrass me with, right? That's what this part of the show is for. It'd be 5 minutes. Hello, how you doing? A few minutes of chatter, and then right back to the table, right? And let's play. Let's play some Don't Pass. Let's do some stuff that's fun. That's kind of what I want to do. So that's the whole show today, guys. I want, again, more feedback from y'all. So whatever you want to talk about, see, ask, whatever, now is your time. I'm going to go and filter the comments here. I'm going to search first for the letters PC and see what kind of questions I got. Let's go over here. Zing. And let's see, we have PC. Let's see. How about knocking the wall? I'm looking at all this over here. Royce's wallpaper. You know what? I could totally do casino. Oh, that'd be great. Actually, it's a good idea. Wow. A wallpaper that looked like a center bar. That would be really actually pretty cool. That's a neat idea. But behind me, right? But I kind of want it behind me to be like, I know that I got this black soundproofer back here. That'd be cool. I thought for like my the dice display case thing, right? Or like the chip display case. I thought that'd be kind of cool as a backdrop. Or maybe over there where I've got those. I don't know. I like that. That's a really cool idea, actually. I think that would be super fun. Yeah, and I've got the wireless keyboard mouse here. There it is, right? I've got all that stuff. It's more about right now how far away things are. It's hard to see, and because I'm old, you know how old I am now. Everybody thinks, oh, God, that guy's so old. He looks so much older in person than he does on camera. My God. Let's see. Joe says, run my own strategy, but sculpt it using other people's influences, which is a good idea. One thing I have, and again, I think there's so many ways to play. There's really 4 ways to play, but there's so many variations off of those things. That's a good idea. I think, do what I want to do, but put a little bit of juice into it. And for example, the what I'm calling the duck and cover way of playing, the kind of, take a hit and reduce the bet down. It's nothing new. Like, there's been variations of that thing played forever, right? I'm calling it that because I feel like I'm kind of ducking out of the way when I take a hit and getting money off the table quicker. That's just a variation of the Butterberg. That's all that it is. Just my take on it. It's the Butterberg with no don't pass, effectively, right? But yeah, I think that's a good call, Joe. Do what I do, but a little bit of outside influence, maybe. Ryan says, how about each day is different? A different level each day, $10 Monday, $25 Tuesday, bubble on Thursday. That's interesting. Are you talking about for daily paycheck? You're talking about for the middle segment, right? When I'm doing the middle segment, that might be interesting to play those middle segments at bubble craps levels, which I think is cool. The only problem with bubble craps is that I can't do exact payments, right? Like Waylon does it too. $1.06 pays $1.16, so you pay yourself $1. You gotta. It's not an exact science to do bubble levels, but yeah, we can simulate some of that stuff. Joe says interviews. I will try. I've been saying a long time I want to do interviews. They're hard to do only because of timing, right? This show is at 7:15 Pacific time, which is hard for folks on the East Coast to get to because they're in the middle of their workday, right? I would love to do that. I'd have to film it ahead of time and then play the interview during the show, which I don't know that I would like, right? Or that you would like so much. So if we can arrange times, I would do more of that, but it's going to be more West Coast or Colorado time based interviews, right? And that drops me, that lowers my window a little bit. But I like the idea. I would love to do more of that stuff for sure. John Pond says, even though I covered a bunch with math strategy, proper ways to play, common sense, I think there's so much more about craps that hasn't been covered. You're right. And I think that if I said to you, for example, if I just said, all right, we're done with the morning session, let's go play some craps. And I go over to here, or I go into here, and I say, hey, let's just put chips out there, right? Let's break down, the thing that David showed us, right? Go out there, and I did this actually, a $25 4 and 10, right? And let's roll the dice. And, we'll use the 4 and 10 to feed. Actually, I can do like, let's just roll them. There's a 10. Look, I rolled a 10 the first roll. Can you believe that, right? And it pays $50. And what you do is you hammer press that 10. And if either one of them rolls a second time before we get the big nasty, what do we have? Nobody saw the 7. Let's just make it happen. Let's pretend that it happened. 2. Come on. 4s and 10s are hard to roll, right? There's a 10. Fantastic, right? It pays $100.50. And you're back down, and you're taking the $100 and you're going on the inside, right? And now you've got $50 in profit, right? You got your $50 back that you started with plus $50 still out there on the 4 and 10, right? And everything else covered. That's what David was showing us at Craps for the Cure. Now, of course, that 7 that I rolled doesn't count, right? I'm just demonstrating. We can do that kind of thing and talk about why that's good and why that's bad, right? There's so many reasons why that's a great way to play and so many reasons why that's a terrible way to play. We can talk through it. I played crapless that way. When you watch videos coming out where live video of me playing crapless, I've never played it before. I was trying to figure out what's the best way to attack a crapless table. I went inside, I took a hit, grabbed the 3 and 11, took a hit, grabbed the 2 and the 12, right? And then I pulled the insides down and let the extremes play by themselves, right? We can break that down. I think what Jalapon's getting at is I've taught all the hardcore teaching things I can teach, but out here at the table with chips, I can get into and go, okay, why does that work? Why was that cool? I liked that or didn't like that, right? That's I think where this show started out a couple of years ago, and it's why I kind of became who I am to you all, right? We moved away from playing more demonstration at the table and more into me sitting at my desk being a teacher. And I want to get away from that. I want to get off the camera and do more table work. I think that's where I can add the most value now. And so Jalapon, you're spot on, and so is Jen. Your two comments to me kind of dovetail, right? Let's get more demonstrations. There is more to teach, but I want to teach it in a fun way with rolling dice and talking about the outcomes. So Roy says, wish me luck. My wife and my tiny bankroll are off to Legends tonight. You're going tonight out there to stay for free. Awesome. Hoping to I'll tell you what, tomorrow, Royce, come in here and let's talk about the table. And you're gonna donate some more to the VMF. That would be freaking awesome. Tell me a trip report tomorrow morning. When you go play, what's the table like? How long is it? How are the dealers? Is it a soft, hard, whatever? Just give us a little report, because it's interesting. When I think about the PNW meetup, the Yakima Casino and also Snoqualmie come to mind because they're both about the same distance from me. We could actually do both and have some interesting Northwest stuff. Anyway, that's that. What? Oh, Gargoyle's here too. Gargoyle says, I'm from Lebanon. Duck and cover is a move I learned. Oh my God, dude, really? That's funny, and also in today's world, not so funny. My God, what's going on? Oh yeah. Okay, let me go to the questions. Any more questions I didn't get to? Not very many. Joe says, what surprised me the most during the trip? What surprised me the most during the trip? Ooh, that's a great question. I think from a crap standpoint, from a table play standpoint, the duck and cover surprised me at how well it recovered. That, I think, it was surprising from gameplay standpoint. That was, and the reason why is because it's 160 across, right? And it's 2 or 3 rolls. And yeah, we got PSO'd. But that thing, when I lost the 160, it wasn't hard to get it back, I found. And what I did is I extended it, right? I would go, instead of taking 2 hits and down, I would go 3 hits and down if I lost it once. I would go 4 hits and down if I lost it twice. And recover back, and then it seemed like when I got to the 4th hit, those shooters tended to go longer, and it was resilient, more resilient than I gave it credit for. I'll tell you that. I thought I was going to get whacked pretty hard playing that way. I was trying to think about, should I play Horseman the whole time? I did for a little bit, and I got bored. And I wanted to kind of run a little bit, and that was surprisingly resilient. The other thing that surprised me was, and again, Gargoyle's here, so promise me you won't tell Ed this. Everybody else too. I played crapless and I liked it. I liked it. I tried it and I liked it. My thoughts on crapless are still this. I still don't like the fact that the casino did it. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of these things where I think that game can be very advantageous for the players if they play it right. A lot of people I watched played crapless 2 ways. They either went only extreme out of the gate, just rail dumped on the extremes, and so that's all I'm going to do. Or they played crapless like regular and ignored the extremes, right? There's a butter zone in there somewhere that a player can really do well in that game. However, I stand by what I always have said about that game. I don't like the fact that they took half the game away, right? And I know why they did it, right? Every 7, they scoop all the chips now. Whereas before, on every 7, they scooped a percentage of the chips. Now, overall, the come out play and whatever else, the don't pass equalizes some. But effectively, the regular craps table, if there's an equal number of don't players and do players, becomes kind of a hedge, and it's more, it's the house edge to the casino is more the only way they're going to make it, right? I just don't like the fact that they took a part of the game away. And like I say, anything that they do is never in your favor, right? We always say this. Any move the casino makes is never done for the good of the player. So the move to crapless from regular craps can't be good for you, right? And that's why they did it. So I stand by that. That said, I enjoyed it. We had a great time at that table. I got to play next to Ryan for a while. We were joking and hooting and hollering. And you'll see it. I think Ryan's going to put a video out where he and I are next, and we're just kind of talking and bullshitting. And he keeps reminding me not to swear so much, you know. We had a good time. It was a great game. I had a good time. That table was fantastic. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed crapless, even though I spent most of the time not playing, right? I did the inside, like I said, 2 inside hits to get the extremes, pull the insides down, and let the extremes run their course. So I wasn't doing a lot of betting. I was doing a lot of watching, right? and trying to capitalize on the outsides where I could. I had a good time with it, and actually it gave me a little more time to kind of BS. John Pond, every casino is different. This one did offer hot bets. It also had the ATS. It was crapless with an ATS. No other side bets. Also, what surprised me during the trip was the Shackelford interview where he gave the thumbs up to the big AZ strategy. I didn't expect that. I expected him to say it's going to be too hard to hit, or the house edge is too high and it's not good. But him saying that the math tracks on it, that surprised me. I was not at all surprised by how well we all got on, right? Joe, you and your fiance, Ryan and Craig and all of us, Ian and Jen, the whole crew that was there, Brian from Holy Roller, we got along great. That wasn't a surprise to me at all. We've had enough conversations here in chat. I've talked to most of you on the phone before. Jen and Ian I already knew. Craig I knew from before. I had no doubt we were going to get along just great. What I think the surprising piece of that was how natural it was, right? And so for next year, right, if you all come out, like I said, I feel like, and you probably do too, I feel like I know all of you because of chat, right? We chat constantly. We all have good relationships already. In person, it just cemented it. It's like, that felt everything felt so natural. It felt like we were getting together for Thanksgiving as a family. So was it surprising? Maybe, but it was just like, to me, it was like putting on an old pair of shoes, right? Seeing all of you guys, getting the first bro hug from Joe. After that, it was like, yeah, see you in the morning kind of thing. You know what I mean? It was like, it felt like we were all together for a family get together. It really did. So that was cool. Great question, Joe. Thanks for asking that one. Anything else coming up in chat? I'm not sure. I'm just going to go through here. Let's see. You got to bring. That is the comment of the day right there. Did I figure out the hard ways yet? We did. Here's what's going to happen. I might do a whole show on this. This might be I'm going to take my own advice here. I may do a whole show on that bet with AZ. I got to talk to him. But the long and short of it is this. The hard ways bet that and the way that Shackelford evaluated it he did it two ways for me. Okay, one was traditional hard ways. Okay, hit all four hard ways: hard 4, hard 6, hard 8, hard 10 before the 7. I think it was 204 or 210 to 1 was the odds for that. Okay, which is hard, right? It's hard to do it. That would pay like 150 or 175 to 1. So basically, it's just as hard to hit all four hard ways as it is to hit the ATS. Effectively, the odds are almost the same. The probabilities they're within spitting distance of being the same. The payouts could be the same, right? Which is interesting, right? I like that. That it's for the casino side of things. The house edge is the same. It's really kind of cool, which I think is neat. The other option we talked about was including the 2 and the 12, because they're also hard ways, right? And having 6 hard ways in play and hitting 4 out of the 6 or 3 out of the 6 or 2 out of the 6, which lessens it a little bit. If you include the 2 and the 12, getting 4 out of the 6 possible hard ways is like 45 to 1. That would probably pay 35 to 1 or something like that, right? So that's you're getting into like lower payments, but easier bets to hit. Interesting plays, right? We talked about having a pay table for it. Like, so 4 out of 4, 3 out of 4, whatever, pays descending amounts of money. It's got merit to it. The issue with it is that clearly we're not the first people in the world that thought of this, right? That thing has been bandied about, I'm sure, before by other people, and we don't see it on tables yet. So there might be a reason as to why. I don't know. We have to do some more research on it. But Michael gave us the process for how to do it, and yeah, I think we take a look at next steps and see what next steps look like, whether it's worth it or not. The cool thing is, it's got merit, right? The math tracks. It's got merit. It's a thing that you could bring to a casino and confidently say, this would work if you would put it on your table, and they can say yes or no, we don't want it. I think that's great, right? So there we go. Let's see. What else is being said in chat? Gargoyle. Let's see. You're all a bunch of weirdos. I'm not sure what's going on. What's going on? Jen says we're all weirdos. I don't know what happened. What happened? Um, Station. Yes, that was a good thing. Station King's only comp is 3 days. We had to pay for the last 2 nights there, which kind of sucked. Love Tom Marco's comment about lessons learned evolving your play. I didn't see that one because he didn't put a PC in front of it. Let's see. Gargo said to anyone in the chat that was at the event, thank you for all you did. You are awesome. I second your note there. The chat was great. All weekend it was great. Really, that event was awesome. Everybody stepped up, and I say we have a little more to do here still. I'll do a little bit more of an announcement here in the next day or two about what's going to happen. But the long and short of it is, we're going to keep the bidding open through Veterans Day. So I'll do another little what's still out there for auction and that kind of thing probably in the next couple of days. But all right, let's see. Marco says, we'll be teaching us crapless road. I will be teaching crapless. I have to. Like I said, it's one of these things, and I'll own it, right? I say this all the time. Like I can say all day long. And here's you want me to? I got 3 minutes left. I'm going to say this out loud. This will be the best 3 minutes of the show. Don't hang up. Don't go away. I love my mathy friends, right? The math friends are great, and they're right, and I'm right. If you play the ATS 555 for the rest of your life, if you play a $15 pass line and a 555 ATS for the rest of your life, you will lose your ass. It'll bleed you dry. 100% will bleed you dry. We bled out all week playing the ATS. We hit it a couple times. We bled out. I'm sure for the weekend we're probably down, right? Even though, the big hit I had at the end probably caught me back up on the ATS, right? I think I walked out of there with the big full 555 ATS win, but I had lost 555 probably 40 times leading into that one, right? So if I never played it and I never hit it, I'd probably be in about the same spot I am now. Let's call a spade, right? The math guys are right about that kind of stuff. But at the same time, the short-term stuff is also kind of just as real, right? So I think there's this interesting kind of dynamic about all this, right? So yeah, playing this way forever, math style, you can look at it and say, I lost Monday, I lost Tuesday, but I don't care because I'm going to win on Friday. Or you can look at, I'm going to try and win today. I'm going to try, you know what I mean? Like take your sessions for what they were. Let's see. Jen said hit on the way in and the way out. Yeah, we missed the first one, unfortunately. That was kind of a bummer. But anyway, I forgot where I was here. I got lost in my own thoughts there because I had a point to make. So I'm okay with being wrong about stuff, right? I'm okay with saying like, hey, the ATS sucks. Long term, it sucks for you, right? I'm also okay in saying, yeah, I'm going to play it. Like, I'm going to get out there and play it more often than I typically do because it does hit, right? And it's fun when it hits. And sometimes that little adrenaline rush is worth the $15, right? If I'm focused on winning $15 and putting it aside for the next one, I feel like I've bought myself time to play it. Crapless is the same thing, right? I don't love crapless as an idea. I don't love 6-5 blackjack as an idea. I don't love 3-0 roulette as an idea, right? To me, 0-0 roulette and crapless are the same thing. They raised the house edge on a game that was already really good, right? They fucked up a game that was great. That said, it's out there. People are playing it. You can make money on the extremes if you play them right. And I say if you play them right. I don't know how to play the game because I don't play it, right? It's time for me to say, I may feel like I'm right about the game being a sucker for most people. But I also have to embrace the fact that it's out there and I'd have fun playing it, right? So if you're going to play it, I'd rather you play it, a smart way. So I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to figure out a way to get crapless on my layout and deal crapless and play crapless. I'm going to absolutely embrace it. Like I said, I don't have to love it, right? But I'm man enough to say it's a game that I enjoyed and maybe I will enjoy more the more I play it, and I'm going to teach it. Right? I have to do that. Right? If I didn't do that, I would be not doing my job, right? I'm not going to go out there and just be super dogmatic about it and say, screw it. I'm man enough to say I was wrong, right? About not going after it, right? It's a thing we have to address. So, and I should not have been as dogmatic as I was earlier. that goes away now. All right, there it is. I know you did. I know you did. I saw the pictures. That's what it is, right? Use it to your, if you have an advantage on it, you can get it, right? There it is, guys. I'm out. I got to go. It's time for work. So anyway, it's 8:31. You guys are awesome. Thanks for hanging out and listening to me vent, rant, and all my things today. Back at it tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow, no show tomorrow. I will move the time. Tomorrow was going to be the 100K breakdown. I can't. Tomorrow the dogs go to the surgery. So no show tomorrow. We'll be dark for one day. Back on Friday for Friday Follies, and I'll see you then. Until then, God bless every one of you guys. Thanks.